On the night of October 15, 1946, Hermann Göring cheated the hangman's noose in his Nuremberg cell, ending his life just hours before his scheduled execution. While his death closed a dark chapter of history, it marked the beginning of a grueling ordeal for the family he left behind, his wife, Emmy, and their young daughter, Edda. The fall was as swift as it was absolute. In April 1945, as Soviet forces closed in, Göring ordered the destruction of his opulent estate, Carinhall. Emmy and 7-year-old Edda were moved into the Bavarian Alps, eventually intercepted by U.S. troops. Overnight, they went from being the first family of the Reich to dependents of high-ranking officials held in guarded hotels and requisitioned houses. For Edda, the transition was heartbreaking. The little princess of the Reich, who once had a miniature palace and Hitler as a godfather, now sat in silence, clutching a small suitcase, repeatedly asking when she would see her father again. As Hermann stood trial at Nuremberg, Emmy was stripped of her staff, her status, and eventually her property. Allied investigators meticulously inventoried the family's assets, seizing jewelry, furs, and an art collection that was largely the result of wartime looting. When news of Hermann's suicide reached them, the shock was profound. But his death offered no legal relief. In 1947, Emmy faced a denazification tribunal in Munich. Despite her claims of being a mere private citizen, she was classified as a major offender. She lost her property rights, was banned from public work, and was denied any state pension. Emmy eventually resettled in a modest Munich apartment, supported by friends from her former life as an actress. Until her death in 1973, she remained fiercely loyal to Hermann's memory, publishing a memoir that painted him as a compassionate man, ignoring the historical reality of his crimes. Edda's path was one of quiet, unwavering devotion. She studied law and eventually worked as a medical technical assistant. Unlike other children of Nazi leaders who changed their names or denounced their parents, Edda remained a Göring. Until her death in 2018, she defended her father as a loving figure, choosing to remember the man who gave her a miniature palace rather than the architect of the Holocaust. The Göring legacy, however, saw a radical fracture in the next generation. Hermann's grandniece, Bettina Göring, took a path that stood in haunting contrast to Edda's loyalty. Burdened by the weight of her surname, Bettina moved to the United States and eventually revealed that both she and her brother had undergone sterilization. Her goal was chillingly clear: to cut the line so that no more Görings would ever be born. The story of the Göring family is a study of inherited guilt and the different ways humans process a dark heritage, ranging from absolute denial to the radical ending of a bloodline. If you found this deep dive into history insightful, stay tuned to Prestige Buzz for more stories from the shadows of the past. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload.